Welcome to another edition of Viper Bites. We're going to break down some of this training camp news that just came down the wire early this morning. Today, news broke that Cam Newton, now 32, has been cut by the New England Patriots. Now, when we take a look at what Newton did last year, he was 7 wins, 8 losses, threw 8 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He was cut basically because Mac Jones is better than him. Let's be honest here. And that sets up a week 1 matchup with the Miami Dolphins. We call this Roll Tide Week. Tua versus Mac in Foxborough. Mark that down, week 1. How did we get here? Well, I'm not surprised that Belichick went with Jones as a starter, simply because Belichick is a smart coach and will play the best players available. We've seen this time and time again with Bill. Now, yes, Newton was signed months ago, back in March. He signed a nice contract, a 1-year contract that was worth up to $13.6 million, but only really about $5 million of that was guaranteed. 3.5 guaranteed there, $2 million signing bonus. So not really that commitment to you. Like, we like you, but we're not in love with you. And we kind of look at this. Belichick did say that, Cam, you are our guy, but we've heard that time and time again from coaches. That's just kind of coach speak to kind of put the veteran at ease. We know that Bill Belichick is very loyal to his vets. We've seen this in the past. We'll talk about that a little later. But when I was going through the draft process there, I had Mac Jones as my number 2 QB, and I took a lot of heat for that in this class. I just believe that his floor was higher than the other quarterbacks. Maybe his ceiling not as high, but that floor was definitely there. The way he throws with touch and anticipation. And then when he landed with New England, the system just made sense for him. That and seeing him without a shirt on kind of gave me hope, having a fellow dad bod out there. It's like, you know what? Maybe someday you can make the NFL. No, I'm just joking. That's never going to happen. But you just got to root for this kid. You know what I mean? He does everything right. He says everything right. Listen to his press conferences. He gives a lot of credit to Brian Hoyer and Cam Newton on his early development here through camp. So he says everything right. Basically, he was born to be a Patriot. He comes from that Nick Saban type Alabama offense. Alabama coaches, how they talk, how they walk, how they act. That's basically Mac Jones in a nutshell. Now, looking back on that career at Alabama, only that 1 year as a starter, 17 kind of career starts there. He led the Crimson Tide to a perfect 13-0 record, national championship in 2020, completing an NCAA record with 77.4 completion percentage there, throwing for over 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns, as opposed to only 4 interceptions. That just tells you he's going to protect the ball, put the ball where it needs to be, and kind of go from there. Some of the accolades that he accumulated there in that last season, he was named first-team All-American, won the Davey O'Brien Award, which was given out to the best college quarterback. Not Trevor Lawrence, not Justin Fields, not even, Zach Wilson. It was given to Mac Jones. So let's just kind of take a little bit of a deeper look in here and take a look at these preseason numbers. That shows that Jones, through 3 preseason games, was 36 of 52 for 388 yards and a touchdown. While his counterpoint there not only struggled a little bit with that command of the offense, but Newton went 14 of 21 for 162 yards, a touchdown with an interception. Now, a lot of people are like, okay, Cam Newton, you're the vet, this offense. Well, Cam Newton didn't really have an opportunity to really understand and get a grip of this offense last year. It was his first year. We had the COVID protocols. A lot of different things went into it. Cam Newton will be okay eventually here. Bottom line, performance plus workload led to Mac Jones winning this competition. He was the best option for the Patriots. And then a little bit of a history lesson for you. 20 years ago, back in 2001, the final preseason game, Drew Bledsoe led 7 drives, played almost the entire first half, going 14 for 22 for 145 yards and a touchdown before giving way with about a minute and a half to Tom Brady to kind of close out that first half. Brady, if you're wondering, he went 11 of 19 for 166 yards and a touchdown. Why is this important? Well, Bill Belichick and Charlie Weiss at the time felt it was important to give Drew Bledsoe the work as a vet, much like they did with Cam Newton here. Because people are going to talk about Cam Newton got all the reps in with the first team for week 1, week 2, week 3. Everything was leaning Cam Newton. But we've seen this, how Bill Belichick treats his vets. I do believe that Bill Belichick really does like Cam Newton. Now, Newton is free now to sign elsewhere. And while starting is still a possibility, he's likely going to have to wait his turn and bide his time if he wants to be a quarterback here, especially a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Some interesting landing spots. You know, the Dallas Cowboys there behind Dak Prescott. We know Dallas is already kind of exploring this. You go into Twitter, you kind of do a little research. You know Dallas is interested. They're going to do their back homework on this, see where Cam Newton's kind of at here. Washington makes a lot of sense too because, you know, Fitzpatrick's the quarterback there. We know Fitzmagic only lasts so long. Then Fitzpatrick comes out and there's turnovers going back and forth. We know Ron Rivera has a history with Cam Newton, so maybe that's something that they can pull onto for a possible backup opportunity. You know what? Even Houston's not out of the realm of possibilities here when we're talking about Cam Newton. You've only got Tyrod Taylor there. Cam Newton's got to feel that he's got an opportunity to start if given an opportunity in Houston. We'll see where that goes. The depth behind Tyrod is not a whole lot there. Davis Mills, et cetera, et cetera. We know Deshaun Watson's probably on his way out. We don't know where. We've heard this for a long time. You know what? Or maybe even Bishop Sycamore. They might have an opening at the quarterback position too. So that's something to keep an eye on. What does this all mean for your teams here and for the Patriots in general? Damien Harris and Jakobi Meyers are the obvious winners here as far as how they're going to be used. At least we think so. Now, you're not going to move Damien Harris up your rankings based on Sony Michel being gone, but you know what? There's going to be some opportunities for some goal line carries now that Cam Newton is no longer there. However, the real winner for me in this backfield is Rhomondra Stevenson, because now the Patriots are going to need that banger down low. They're going to need someone on those goal lines, those short yardage type things. That's where Stevenson is going to go in. So I don't think this really helps Damien Harris as much as it helps Rhomondra Stevenson here going forward. Now, at wide receiver, I mentioned Jakobi Meyers. He is by far the most reliable option in the passing game for the Patriots right now. Maybe they go off, they add a guy like John Brown to kind of complement Nelson Aguilar. That's an option. You know, you got Jonas Smith there. You got Hunter Henry as options. But really, I really like Jakobi Meyers this year. I think he could be a top 15 when it comes to targets and receptions in 2021. So that's a guy to kind of keep a look on here. We know that there's a lot of good things going on in New England. I think this could be a very good team. I think Mac Jones is the right call. He was definitely the better quarterback of the two. And he definitely gives the Patriots something to move forward with and some stability in that position moving forward, something they've kind of lacked since Tom Brady kind of went on. And you know what? The rich get richer when it comes to the Patriots because they basically moved from Tom Brady to a guy that some believe could be a poor man's Tom Brady, I guess is the best way to put it, with that accuracy, that anticipation. Now, if they can give him some weapons there, they play a little zero wide receiver there in New England. But I think this could be a very good team. Could challenge for a wild card spot. This team won their fair share of games last year, despite having half their roster on COVID protocol, half the roster kind of left. There wasn't a whole lot of time to get acclimated with the system last year for these quarterbacks. We mentioned Cam Newton, like I said, wasn't really into the system. This system is tailored for Mac Jones. So look out for the Patriots to make some noise next year. With that all being said, this is Viper Bites, and this is my take on Cam Newton and Mac Jones in New England. Catch you later.